I just had to trek on down the mountain until I found some water, and was drinking out of little streams when I could, finding little caves to sleep in, and you know, just general trying to find a will to survive out there.
He says he used ferns to keep warm at night, and while he could hear the rescue helicopter searching for him, the thick brush and canopy concealed him from view. The 30-year-old slowly making his way down the mountain towards the sound of traffic he heard in the distance till he made it to a Salvation Army camp.
First thing I saw was a bathroom, and it had a door open, so I ran in, I turned the faucet on, and I started just guzzling water.
Workers calling 911. Santos now recovering in the hospital. He says he's learned a lot during his life-challenging ordeal.
I can definitely say is the key ingredient to survival is not panicking.
Doctors say Santos will make a full recovery. The 30-year-old says he does plan on going hiking again, but says he'll be sure to bring extra precautions and supplies. In West Hills, Leon Suter, 10 News.
You know you're thirsty when you drink from a rest stop bathroom sink.
Oh, God, yes.
You've been in the forest for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
I liked his beard.
A San Diego nonprofit says local veterans and military members are being disadvantaged in the housing market. What it's doing to try to get them into homes like this one.
And the unlicensed Coronado dentist exposed by Team 10 more than a year ago is now on trial, while his attorney says he didn't do anything wrong.
And there's an organ shortage here in San Diego. These people are all alive thanks to matching donors. How their tragedies are now being turned into celebrations.
And it is gorgeous outside in Coronado. I'll pinpoint how nice it'll be this weekend. 10 News is back in 90 seconds.
Alaska Airlines is taking heat tonight from a woman who says that her family was booted off of a plane all because her brother with Down syndrome threw up. She says this happened just after they boarded a flight in St. Louis Monday, and workers told them they needed to get off that plane. But she says she was more upset about what happened next. She says that Alaska did not offer to pay for accommodations, and that left them stranded in the terminal for hours. The airline did get them on another flight the very next morning.
Singer Lorde is apologizing for this Instagram post, which has some fans calling her insensitive to the late Whitney Houston. Now, take a look at the screen here. Lorde posted this picture of a bathtub with the Houston song lyric, quote, "I will always love you." And fans were quick to point out that Houston had drowned in a bathtub back in 2012. Now, the post has since been deleted. The 21-year-old singer apologized, saying it was an extremely poorly chosen quote, and I hadn't even put this together. I was just excited to take a bath.
Some bizarre behavior by these masked bandits is sending a chill down the spines of neighbors in Youngstown, Ohio. Police are getting calls flooded with them, with people who say that raccoons in the area are now out in the sunlight, just walking around like zombies. They're on their hind legs and they're often baring their teeth. That would be incredibly scary. The animals are also falling over backwards in a comatose state. Wildlife experts there think that it could be some kind of disease.
Now, San Diego's most accurate forecast. This is 10 News Pinpoint Weather.
Yeah, they're very
That's
nocturnal.
what I look like in the morning, just in case anyone was wondering.
Do you also go?
I do. When someone tries to wake me up, that's me.
Yep.
All right, we'll stick to the evenings then. Let's take it to Pacific Beach, where it's beautiful right now. A lot of people walking around, getting their weekend started, just gorgeous. 66 degrees closer to the downtown area, and you can see how the skies are shaping up right now. Just some high clouds out there. It is always about a degree difference from our camera and also from the downtown. So there you can see in the bottom right, 66, downtown is 67. So increasingly cloudy tomorrow. Gusty winds will be impacting mostly the mountains and deserts this weekend, expecting that to continue all the way through Sunday morning. Light rain still not completely ruled out, and here is why. We have a storm system that's approaching. This is actually before the actual storm, but most everything is just over the Bay Area. High pressures to the south, and that's why we've seen beautiful weather today and yesterday. But that same high is going to be suppressed as the next storm system moves in. It just kind of extends right over the region. So windy conditions with a wind advisory in place for the mountains and deserts. The winds will be out of the west-southwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour, gust up to 50 miles an hour. The winds out there, you can see them 29 miles per hour in Julian and El Cajon. Temperatures will be cooling down as we go into tonight, but not bad. And our future cast, you can see the rain is starting to move in. And the conditions are going to be changing for tomorrow with the clouds and the rain moving through, but that's about it. If you are maybe planning out to do the Gran Fondo San Diego on Sunday, we're going to be checking in at 6 a.m. with temperatures around 59. Halfway through the ride at 11, 65 degrees, and then post-ride 68. Tonight's temperatures will average in the 50s in Poway and also in San Diego tonight, 55 in Chula Vista. Tomorrow we'll see 70s inland and at the coast. We'll keep it in the 60s with mostly cloudy skies. By Sunday it gets better, so this weekend not too bad. Really just cloudy Saturday. Sunday it gets better. By next week, get ready for a warm-up in our inland valleys, 88. Tuesday, just a few degrees lower. By Wednesday, now that's more comfortable, 79 degrees. In the mountains, 64 tomorrow, cloudy and windy. The winds will be subsiding early Sunday morning. And then by Monday, it's beautiful all around the county.
It's our weekend. Love it. Thank you, Angelica. Let's get a check on traffic. If it's Officer Mary Bailey, something's got to be on the road. Hello, Mary.
This time we do have a collision in the road. It's on the 94 at Kelton. We're getting a couple different locations, but it's generally going to be in that area of Kelton Road. So eastbound, westbound, expect some slowing. And here's a live look at westbound 56 at Rancho Santa Fe Farms, where you can see that we do have a backup here. It's because there's a collision in the center divide and everyone's slowing down to look. Backup goes all the way to the 5. So remember, this weekend, don't drink and drive. I'm Officer Mary Bailey with your 10 News Time Saver Traffic.
Thank you, Mary. Well, hundreds of thousands of veterans and active duty military members call San Diego home. But a local group says they're facing big disadvantages when trying to buy a house here.
Our 10 News reporter John Horn has the increased efforts to help those service members and vets own the roof over their heads.
This home in Chula Vista is hitting the market for about $650,000. It's the kind of property a veteran or active duty military member could buy with a VA loan.
You got nothing but space and opportunity for the family and friends that you're inviting over.
San Diego realtor Andre Hobbs would like to see a veteran or active service member buy a home like this one.
You have a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom option.
Hobbs, a veteran himself, says it should be easy. After all, many qualify for a 0% down government-backed VA loan, which doesn't require mortgage insurance.
We have served, and the VA loan is a guaranteed loan.
But Hobbs says that benefit is now backfiring in San Diego's ultra-competitive housing market. He says sellers are opting for offers with cash down payments instead.
They assume that this buyer is ready to walk. He's not really motivated.
His group, the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, now says more than 60% of the listings in the county aren't accepting offers with VA loans.
They overlook our VA buyers.
Mark Goldman, a real estate lecturer at San Diego State, says there are some misconceptions with VA loans, such as that they are more complex. He added there are a few extra disclosures, but they aren't cumbersome. But VA buyers can have an advantage if the current owner also served in the military.
We may meet another veteran seller that understands that, hey, I'm willing to do that.
Something Hobbs would like to see more widely. John Horn, 10 News.
And Hobbs says the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals is also hosting more lunch and learns to educate the industry on the VA loans. Those eligible can qualify for up to nearly $650,000 without a down payment.
Well, getting local high school students excited about careers in science, technology, engineering, and math.
It's been pretty interesting. I really like it, seeing all the students and all the professors be so kind to us.
The program held at SDSU today to give these kids a jump start on their future.
And Prince Harry and Meghan Markle meet with wounded warriors at the Invictus Games.
Skycam View, sponsored by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
More than 300 students from 12 local high schools today got a jump on college and the jobs of the future at San Diego State. Now, San Diego State University hosted the day-long event geared at helping kids from underrepresented backgrounds map out the course that those students will take to land a job in so-called STEM areas. Now, those are cutting-edge careers in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math.
It was just in SACNAS, which is the push towards Mexican and Indigenous Americans towards the STEM field, and that's really awesome. They're trying to enforce it.
SDSU undergrads served as their guide, showing them the ropes while building valuable mentoring experiences.
Great program. All right, with just weeks to go before their wedding, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped out in Bath, England today to support a cause that's very close to Harry's heart. As ABC's Julia McFarland shows us, they attended team trials for the 2018 Invictus Games.
A cause very dear to Prince Harry, the world's only international sporting event for injured servicemen and women. The Invictus Games will be held in Australia later this year, and today Prince Harry and Meghan are in the historic city of Bath watching team trials and meeting the athletes taking part. Many of the athletes here already know Prince Harry well, meeting Meghan for the first time delighting many here today. Prince Harry, who pursued a military career and served in Afghanistan, created the Invictus tournament 4 years ago as a way to honour and encourage those injured in service of their country. It's also special to the royal couple for another reason. Only 7 months ago, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle chose to make their first official appearance together as a royal couple at the Games in Toronto. 2 months after that, they announced their engagement. Now, there's just a couple months to go before Harry and Meghan's wedding in May. Well, Harry and Meghan attending the trials for the Invictus Games today is a reminder of the passion they both share for charitable causes. With their wedding date now 6 weeks away, it also shows just how far this whirlwind romance has come since they first officially stepped out together as a couple last year. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, Bath.
That is great to see them together, be out there for that.
Yeah.
The unlicensed Coronado dentist, exposed by Team 10 more than a year ago, is now on trial, while his attorney says he didn't do anything wrong.
The embattled head of the EPA meets with President Trump. What they spoke about as calls for him to resign grow.
And here inside the 10 News Live Center, we are tracking the verdict in a deadly DUI case. Brian Schlonsky now inside the 10 News Live Center, where we are sticking with some breaking news. We first brought you on 10 News at 4, the Now San Diego. A guilty verdict reached in a deadly DUI case. Stacy Sanchez drove her car onto a sidewalk in Oceanside, killing Jack Tenhulzen in 2016. His body went through the windshield, was lodged in the passenger seat of Sanchez's car. Sanchez today found guilty of second-degree murder, also vehicular manslaughter and hit and run. We're learning, too, from court today that her blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit.
Ryan, thank you. Opening statements began today in the case of an unlicensed dentist allegedly working under a false name, caught luring San Diego patients across the border. Our Team 10 first exposed Dr. Robert Mansueto back in 2016.
Team 10 investigator Adam Rakusin was in the courtroom as both sides made their opening pitch to the jury.
Almost 2 years after Team 10 exposed a dangerous dental deal, the trial for Robert Mansueto is finally underway. Among other things, he's accused of practicing dentistry without a license.
Wearing a tie and yellow sweater, Robert Mansueto sat silent as the prosecutor laid out her case.
The defendant, Robert Mansueto, is careless, sloppy, and dangerous.
Deputy District Attorney Gina Darvis described how Mansueto allegedly used a false name to prevent people from researching him and his dental licensing history, that it had been revoked, how he'd met patients at his home in Coronado and then drove them to Tijuana for dental surgery. In 2016, Team 10 secretly watched as Mansueto drove Donna Cooper to Tijuana, where she says he pulled most of her teeth in improperly placed implants. Cooper is just one of several patients who approached Team 10 after complaints of substandard work.
His criteria is, do you have the money to pay me to do this? And are you willing to go to Mexico?
But Mansueto's attorney Gretchen von Helms fired back, saying no one was ever under any illusion that the dental work was going to happen in California.
They all wished to have the lower cost. They all knew that that's why they were going to Mexico. They knew that the dental work was going to be done in Mexico. And when they returned from Mexico, they were happy.
Saying prior to any of the work being done on the 5 patients in question, he got advice from his lawyers in Mexico that he was authorized to practice there.
The issue is what happened here in California, and was that, whatever happened here, practicing dentistry? The answer to that, I believe you will find after looking at all the evidence, is no.
Adam Rakusin, Team 10.
After opening statements, the first witness called was an investigator with the California Dental Board. Now, the trial is expected to go into at least next week.
UFC fighter Conor McGregor is facing legal trouble after an outburst in Brooklyn last night. McGregor was in court today, that's him, facing 12 charges for assault and criminal mischief. He turned himself in after throwing a metal dolly at a UFC tour bus last night, shattering a window and injuring one of the fighters on board. McGregor is being held on $50,000 bail and could face jail time.
A new bill is trying to keep sexual predators out of the classroom. Now, it's called the California Sexual Abuse-Free Education Act, and it would standardize hiring practices at public schools by requiring all applicants to undergo a background check. Now, similar bills have been passed in 4 other states. The bill goes before the state Senate Education Committee next week.
There is more trouble for Facebook today as the company admits it has been secretly deleting messages from CEO Mark Zuckerberg for years. Facebook said it's been deleting messages sent from Zuckerberg and other executives through the Messenger application. They claim it was to keep hackers from accessing classified information. The ability to automatically delete sent texts hadn't been available to Facebook's 2.2 billion users, though. Facebook now says they plan to roll it out to everyone.
All right, Steve, we are back now inside the 10 News Live Center watching more breaking news. I want to take you now to San Carlos. Sky 10 up over this home where you see fire crews walking through that garage. They got a call that came in, said a car may have crashed through this garage, through this house in San Carlos. Right now they're requesting SDG&E to come out and take a look as well. Again, this house in San Carlos, about the 6200 block of Del Paso Avenue. We saw a couple folks sitting in the backyard in some chairs, may have moved them out of the house while fire crews look at this. We'll send a crew on the ground to take a look as well and bring you an update here in just a bit. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brian. Well, now to a developing story. The embattled head of the EPA met with President Trump to lay out his case for why he should remain at his post. Scott Pruitt has been under fire for ethical problems.
As ABC's Serena Marshall shows us, calls are growing for him to resign.
The president this morning appearing to fully back his EPA administrator, writing EPA Chief Scott Pruitt is doing a great job but is totally under siege. And the tweet followed his vocal praise.
Scott has done a fantastic job. I think he's a fantastic person.
Even as on Capitol Hill, there are more calls for him to resign amid months of controversy. From questions of wasting taxpayer money on first-class travel and a soundproof booth in his office, to 2 of his top aides and personal friends reportedly receiving large salary hikes, even after the White House refused to sign off. Pruitt had told Fox News it wasn't his idea.
I did not know about the pay raise. I did not approve the process.
But overnight, 2 EPA officials told ABC News that wasn't true, and Pruitt was aware of the increases. And now the New York Times reporting at least 5 EPA officials who raised concerns about Pruitt's management and spending were later demoted or reassigned. The agency has yet to respond to ABC News' request for comment, but told the New York Times they dispute the veracity of the accusations. These controversies follow the White House inquiry that began after ABC News broke the $50 a night rental deal for a bedroom in a Capitol Hill condo from the wife of a D.C. lobbyist who has energy industry clients. The agency's ethics chief defended the agreement, saying the $50 a night rental was market rate and therefore okay. But her ABC review of real estate listings found the price was far below the cost of similar units. The White House press secretary is adamant that the president believes Pruitt is doing a good job and they won't speak about any hypotheticals until a full review is complete. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
And now President Trump will not attend the White House Correspondents Association dinner this year, continuing a boycott that began his first year in office.
I sort of feel that the press is so bad, it's so fake.
Yeah.
It's so made up. I mean, sources say, and they have no sources. It's one of those things. I probably won't do it.
Trump's decision to skip last year's dinner stood out because presidents almost always attend and give a speech. He instead held a rally as a form of counter-programming. This year's dinner is scheduled for April 28th.
A driver crashes into a police substation. Why officers think his actions were intentional.
And there's been a spike in accidents on one of the steepest, most dangerous streets in the country. Coming up, what's behind the chaos?
And let's get another check on traffic. Once again, here's Officer Mary Bailey.
Good afternoon. Traffic is slow right now heading into Chula Vista on the 5, and that's because of a collision at H Street, so expect some slow traffic there. And here's a live look at southbound 805 at Home Avenue, where you can see the 805 is slow also heading towards Chula Vista. I'm Officer Mary Bailey with your 10 News Time Saver Traffic.
Navigation apps are to blame for causing dangerous crashes and spinouts on one of the steepest streets in the country. Now, residents along Baxter Street in Echo Park say they've seen an influx of unsuspecting drivers trying to find a shortcut around LA traffic. Now, drivers get stuck on the hill at a 32% angle, then the cars roll back, crashing into driveways and homes.
And the traffic, okay, that's one thing, but I think the safety concern is what is concerning this whole neighborhood.
Residents have asked for the street to be removed from the navigation apps, and Google released a statement saying our map reflects any measures taken by local agencies to protect their citizens. Should the local agency decide to restrict Baxter Street, this change will be taken into account.
A startling discovery for a father and his young son biking near a busy intersection in Chula Vista. Our reporter Michael Chen is live in the newsroom, and Michael, they found razor blades.
Yeah, Dad actually had to yell for his son to stop. And this is the site we're looking at. Sean Hayes and his 5-year-old son were on Hilltop Drive, turning onto East H Street yesterday afternoon. Now, right around here is where they found dozens of razor blades on the sidewalk, also dozens more on the road itself as cars continued to drive over them. He saw 2 cars actually pull over on the side of the road with flat tires. Another driver reporting on social media that she found a blade embedded in her tire. Coming up at 6, what we found when we went out there today, and the reason Hayes believes that this was an intentional act. Live in the newsroom, Michael Chen, 10 News.
Dangerous. Thank you, Michael. There is an organ shortage here in San Diego.
It's made us all look at life different and treasure each moment.
That woman's daughter is alive thanks to a matching donor. Coming up, how her tragedy is now being turned into a celebration of life.
It has changed our whole family.
Too many people are on the waiting list for a second chance at life, and San Diego is facing an organ donor shortage, and advocates are desperate to turn that around.
Our 10 News reporter Amanda Brandeis introduces you to survivors who are alive today thanks to Donor Heroes.
He was 15 years old, and 5 people received organs from him.
Through her tragedy, she was able to give us our life back.
Definitely. Selfless.
Families touched by organ donation see the world a little differently.
Do you think so?
Nisha Vorner Harrison's perspective changed when her then 18-month-old daughter Blythe needed a liver transplant.
We tell each other we love each other a little bit more, you know, and we don't get mad as much.
Now 4 years old, Blythe is here with others she shares a bond with. They're at Life Sharing, celebrating their new birthdays made possible by organ donation.
Gave me hope, yes.
Born with cystic fibrosis, Michael Adams didn't think he'd ever get out of the hospital. Then he got the call for his double lung transplant. The donor, 15-year-old Tori Howe, was shot and killed walking to church choir practice. But Howe's story didn't end that day.
Received a letter back. It was from his mother, basically telling me what kind of kid he was. And, you know, and she was just so happy to hear what he had done for me and 4 other people.
2,000 San Diegans are still waiting for their call.
There's never going to be enough organs, but more people need to talk about donations so that there can be more organs.
Life Sharing says share your wishes with your family members or take a few minutes to register. It's a selfless act that will one day live on, touching countless lives.
He's my hero.
Amanda Brandeis, 10 News.
I know a lot of people don't like to discuss it, but it is so important that we all register for something like that.
It really is, and that was just incredible to see too.
Yeah.
Well, you can also become a donor. You can register at www.lifesharing.org or register right at the DMV. You can also become a living donor and help someone with one of your kidneys.
It is so important. All right, women's apparel and shoe retailer 9 West just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The filing shows the company owes more than $1 billion. 9 West says it plans to restructure in order to reduce debt and increase growth by allowing its focus on its stronger brands. The company joins a growing list of retailers that have filed for bankruptcy just this year.
A man who stole several firearms from a Bay Area home and threatened to kill police is now in custody. On Wednesday night, Dustin Hamilton allegedly broke into a San Jose home and stole several guns. Now, he apparently made the threats in a lengthy note left inside the residence where he stole the guns. Now, people who know him say they're shocked.
He's too good a kid to do something like this. That's why I don't understand it.
Hamilton was caught in San Francisco earlier today. Police describe him as a transient with outstanding warrants on assault and vandalism charges. And a driver may have intentionally crashed a car into a Miami police substation this morning. The driver was seen speeding and slamming into the substation's back gate. If the crash was accidental, police say the car would have stopped, but instead, the car regained its speed and crashed right into the wall. An officer used his vehicle to trap the driver's car. A rifle and a safe were found inside. Charges have not yet been determined.
A new satellite will soon be released into orbit with a mission to help us clear up junk from space. The Remove Debris experiment is about the size of a washing machine and carries 3 types of technologies for space debris capture: a harpoon, a net, and what's called a drag sail. Once deployed, it will spend over a year in orbit and report back on findings.
Now, San Diego's most accurate forecast. This is 10 News Pinpoint Weather.
You clean up your junk.
Clean up your junk in space.
Yes.
I wonder what they're going to do with that. All right, who knows?
Bring it back in.
Yeah, just bring more junk. All right, let's go to the downtown area. A little bit of a better day today. I know we've had kind of a sunny day here, a cloudy day, but today was just picture perfect. Some high clouds making it beautiful, and it's going to be a great sunset. So get your cameras ready and make sure to post to our 10 News Weather Watchers Facebook page so we can share your photos at 6 and also at 7. Right now it is 67 degrees. High clouds will remain in place, turning mostly cloudy as we go into tomorrow. Gusty winds will continue to be a factor, as well as a possibility for a passing shower. We're tracking a storm system right now. What you see here is basically high pressure anchored right over Southern California, which has allowed for this gorgeous Friday. And then to our north, an area of low pressure and a frontal boundary that's going to be sweeping through the state. As it gets closer and closer, the winds will be speeding up. In average, they're going to come out of the west-southwest. This will stay in effect until 5 a.m. Our wind advisory will bring winds between 20 and 30 miles per hour. It'll be targeting mountains and deserts. Elsewhere, much better, but it could still be breezy. You can see that already, 15 or close to it in La Jolla, 50 miles per hour, 17 in Alpine, much windier in Julian, Ocotillo, and also in Borrego. As we go into the overnight hours, those conditions are going to be changing as the clouds increase, and then we go into tomorrow. You can see the bulk of that rain is going to be well to the north of LA, but we could see maybe a few drops here and there early tomorrow. The chance will continue into the evening hours for the higher elevations. In the mountains, we may have a spotty shower, but not expect much out of it. If you're going to be out and about on Sunday, whether it's Little Italy for this event, the Gran Fondo, San Diego, or anything else, the skies are going to be clearing. It'll be nice and sunny. Temperatures averaging in the upper 60s by then. Tonight, we'll keep it in the upper 40s in Ramona, 55 in Chula Vista, and 57 in Carlsbad. Up north in Fallbrook, 55 degrees for tonight. Tomorrow, comfortable numbers, especially in the valley, 73 degrees in average. A little bit better in a couple of places. In Julian, 64, 69 in San Diego. In our 10 News Pinpoint 7-day forecast, 67 degrees Saturday to start off the weekend. Mostly cloudy. I know that icon shows a little bit of rain, but again, it's just going to be a very small chance. 75 on Sunday, mostly sunny skies. And every time I say that, there's a slight chance, a slim chance, maybe a drop or two, and then people go, is it really going to rain? No, it's not. 70 degrees on Sunday in the mountains. Next week, we're going to be warming things up on Monday, and then by the middle of the week, more clouds and patchy fog.
And we're riding Sunday in the Gran Fondo.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event and great weather.
And Kalina's going to be out there supporting us. She'll be out there at 5 a.m.
Just for you.
For the first time in 30 years, the Queen Mary in Long Beach will let you stay in what many believe is the ship's most haunted place. Previous guests have reported lights and faucets turning off and on by themselves. Others say their bed covers were pulled off while they were asleep, and some woke up to see a dark figure standing by their bed. Stateroom B340 can be rented out starting at $499 a night beginning Friday, April the 13th.
Can't wait to do that. All right, well, Denny's just launched a menu inspired by Star Wars. The out-of-the-world items you'll be able to order pretty soon.
And those horses displaced by the lilac fire are getting ready to head home from the Del Mar racetrack. Denny's is rolling out a brand new menu in honor of Star Wars. This features items like the co-reactor pancakes, Two Moon Skillet, the Lightspeed Slam, the Blaster Fire Burger, and the Crystal Crunch Milkshake. I know that you love this already, don't you?
I do. I really
heard
do.
that. Denny's will